What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, YouTube? We are back with another live stream. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Let me actually pop my headphones on as we start getting ready, filing in here. Say what's up. Make sure you hit the like so that we can make sure we are doing what we need to do. I'm hoping everybody's day has gone well. Shoot. Hoping everybody's day has gone well. Everything has been good. Let me see something. Let's get these headphones in. Let's try and get some music going in the background. Let's see if we can get some good tracks going. Making sure everything looks good. Just check something real quick. Okay. Sounds like audio is good, but it's not on my headphones. Let's see how we feeling about this one. Let's see how we feeling about this one. I need like a nice 90s lo-fi hip-hop track right now. I can rock with this. That's a good volume right there. All right, let's get her going. Pop this over here. And then close this up. Cool. All right, so what's going on, guys? As you guys can see in the title of the live stream, it's going to be talking about Sony killing the gaming industry and just the beauty of what retro gaming used to be. And the reason why I actually decided to do this live stream was because I had recently gone to my uncle's house, and he has a nice little retro station, which, you know, that may actually be featured potentially later on the channel. And we were playing some of the retro games. And one game in particular that we were playing was Tekken Tag. And in playing Tekken Tag, it really brought me back to when, like, I was younger. I would go to my cousin's house, We would get some snacks, chill in his room, maybe a Capri Sun or something, like or Kool Aid, Sunny D, maybe. Um, and we sit there, we load up the PlayStation 2, right? And one game that we actually had on the PS2 was Guitar Hero. But the thing was, we didn't have the guitar to play Guitar Hero. So naturally, we just used the controllers. And we were surprisingly good on those controllers. It probably makes it easier to play Guitar Hero, but that was one of the most fun I've had playing video games, especially growing up. And going back to Tekken Tag, it really made me realize, like, damn, the games were so good back in the day. They were so simple, yet they were so good. The graphics don't even matter on the game anymore. It's really about the quality of the gameplay, the challenge that you get out of playing, and just the overall joy that you get out of just hitting combos and getting on a great streak in Guitar Hero. This is a little too loud in my ears, but it's definitely something that as you're playing, you're like, man, where did the good gaming go, right? And some may blame it on community, some may blame it on the industry, some may blame it on the developers, and some may just blame it on, the future being what it is. And now we've gotten to a point where gaming is in a very interesting spot, right? You have so many great modern games such as Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Sekiro. Semi-modern. Let me see. Well, what's like a really good modern game right now? Black Myth, Sekiro, Neo 3, um, Red Dead Redemption. All of these games that have recently came out, and those are still some great games that have just great, solid core gameplay that brings you to a whole new world, especially with the graphics and what the gaming industry has been able to push in terms of graphics as well as just engines and how games play and run, right? And that's something that you still see within some of the older games where things are a little bit clunky, movement isn't as fluid, the combos aren't as crisp or as easy to complete, but there is that hidden challenge. And once you start to understand a lot of those old school games, a lot of the things start to open up and it completely changes how you play them, right? We were running actually some of just the arcade mode in Tekken Tag and just going through like a couple times through the arcade and just unlocking characters was just so much fun. Like you really forgot, especially with now, at least for me, I've been playing a lot more of the solo adventure games, such as the ones that I listed before: Black Myth Wukong, Sekiro, Elden Ring, Lies of P. Those games, you get immersed in the game, you're going through the bosses, leveling up your character, but there's always something that's beautiful about just like unlocking new characters and being able to play them through going through different levels of the campaign, because the base campaign is so good that it actually makes it worth continuing to play over and over again, right? And I think in the modern era, they have lost touch with what gaming is and how important it is to want to progress properly while still having a good story, right? And we got so lost after Fortnite because of how massive it became and how much it really impacted the level of like multiplayer online live service gaming. It completely shifted the mindset away from making sure you were creating good games. A lot of these companies that aren't meant to be doing live service games, and people also are going to get tired of them, um, they start to focus on on their weaknesses rather than their strengths, and it's causing for the whole industry to like flip itself on its head and lose more and more money to a point where now I think if they continue to lose more money, gaming is going to start going through the roof, right? You're not going to get the same quality of games as you used to, and it's going to become more and more of a struggle to compete with a lot of, or at least with the ability to play, right? And in a video that we're going to watch to kind of start off the stream, just to get everybody comfy, join in, vibe out. Um, we're going to talk about how Sony is a warning for the game industry, and just the decisions that Sony has made has become so apparent to where the game industry is trying to go. And if it continues down this path, there will be only a select few companies that are going to really last, because they just continue to make great games. They continue to stick to their guns, their strengths, and what they're good at. And then maybe venturing off in subcategories, but not going too far away from what they're good at, right? And banking on what the gamers actually want, how they respond, and what the market is giving them. Because at the end of the day, it is a market. And if you can't cater to the market, you're just going to either price yourself out, or you're just going to get replaced by something else that's better, right? The independent companies, the independent media, as well as just a lot of these smaller brands that, or not even smaller brands, just smaller companies in general that are just maximizing output and quality gameplay rather than trying to cater to an imaginary crowd that do not play video games on a high clip. But let's get into the video. Let me actually switch my cameras real quick so that we can get into it, baby. Let's go.
Is a message that needs to get across to some of the games industry, because if these guys don't start waking up, we all risk losing something. And in a lot of cases, we already have. I think that there is something critically wrong with the general direction of the games industry and also with live service. And when I see Destiny 2 ending support with no sequel in sight to go all in on Marathon, I think this has to be the clearest warning that I have ever seen. To me, this feels like the last alarm that's going off before everything just drives straight off of a cliff. I don't think people understand how big of a deal this is, how terrible things have gotten when we have a game that has no market replacement. There is not a singular experience that is exactly like Destiny that's out there. It has no real competition. And yet, for whatever reason, these guys think it's worth abandoning. These companies are...
And you know what's funny? That goes straight to the uniqueness of video games, right? Destiny 2 is a game that you got right after Halo, right? The high of Halo Reach, I believe, right after Halo Reach, I believe the first Destiny came out. And it was a completely different experience to where, you still have a lot of the Halo components, right? But it's a different style of gameplay, right? Where you're getting loot, getting legendary builds, getting legendary armor, all the things in order to maximize your character and play in certain missions, go through certain missions in a co-op game mode, as well as be able to play in the multiplayer. And they developed that in Destiny 2, but then abandoned it midway in order to cater to this live service audience that is not going to provide them with the actual funds in order to continue to make more money. There's so many live service games that it doesn't make sense to make another one to cater to such a small audience. If they decide to develop on Destiny 2 and actually focus their time on that game, in my opinion, even after a year or two, I would actually go back into that game and potentially grind it and actually play. Right, just because of the concept of what Destiny was, it just made so much more sense to wait, because when I did start playing Destiny 2, it seemed pretty empty. At least that's what the impression I got when I first started playing it. So if they actually took time and catered to though that fan base, I think it would make them so much money. And actually listen to their responses and their reviews, they would make so much money off of it. But
So disconnected
Sony.
that they don't even know what they have. They don't even see the value in it. They don't understand why players aren't playing it. They don't even understand how to fix it. And they're not the only ones. This is something that's way bigger than just Destiny. This is a growing illness in the games industry that has just infected just about everything at this point. We've been watching as live service games have been fading faster and faster. We watch these companies invest billions of dollars into them, only for most of these games to come out and be dead on arrival. We are in a state of entropy. It's chaos, it's confusion, it's wastefulness. And it's all brought on because these guys will just simply not answer to their audience. Today, what I want to do is I want to talk about what Destiny 2's end of support and end of life means for the rest of the industry. How a game like this could suffer this kind of fate when it still has every reason to exist. Why live service games are failing faster and faster, and how, unlike this industry, these guys really need to just accept we're not the ones chasing trends. We're the ones that are just chasing a reason to care. Guys, I am not an oracle, but damn do I feel like one. When I made a video the other week talking about the impairment loss that Sony took against Bungie, I had said that they should just work on Destiny, get it back on track, and then figure out what they should do with Marathon. But I had also said that that's probably not what they would do. And I had said that out of complete cynicism and distrust that these guys would likely just choose to support Marathon over Destiny, and then within 24 hours, that's exactly what they did, taking it even further by announcing the complete end of the content support for Destiny 2, while also...
But that's insane too. Like, I just don't see why you completely end all content to focus on a dead live service game. Like, how do you not go from saying, okay, this is the next step from Halo, and you completely abandon it rather than just continuing to make it, even if it's like half-assed to a degree, you can at least probably make some decent content while focusing on Marathon. Because what is Marathon really going to provide you, right? How hard is it really to add just an extra map or maybe a couple extra skins or something along those lines? Because at the end of the day, that's what live service games are. Rather than something like Destiny, where you actually can build a true story, build a true campaign, and actually build dungeons within the story as well as DLC within the story, that you could just make so much more money off of the actual brand of Destiny. There's so much more potential to create iconic characters off of the brand of Destiny rather than doing a live service game where no one really cares.
revealing that they haven't even greenlit a Destiny 3, which immediately set the internet on fire. Social media was rightfully ablaze, with players just dumbfounded as to why Sony and Bungie would make this decision, especially given how much time people have invested into this game, how much that time means to them, and also how much money people have spent on this game. Spoiler for the whole video, I don't know what they're thinking. Now look, while I am not wishing for the death of Marathon, choosing to support it, of all games, while turning your back on the franchise that objectively has more players, has defined your studio for over a decade, funded these projects in the first place, and has a proven audience, makes absolutely no sense to me. I mean, Destiny 2 just hit its all-time peak only 2 years ago. That game is obviously not suffering from a relevance issue. Bungie just hasn't given people a reason to care. Now, I've spent a lot of time thinking about the ensuing layoffs at Bungie, the end of Destiny 2, and the decisions that both Sony and Bungie are making right now. And the more that I look at this, the more it just feels like this path is going to lead to the dissolution of one of the most influential studios in this industry.
You know what's crazy too? I also think if they actually marketed the game of Destiny to the degree that they marketed like a Halo 3 or a Halo back in the day, and you have the capabilities through social media to do so, right? This game could make so much more money for them that it's actually crazy. Because think about it, right? Destiny can almost turn into a It's a looter shooter boss, fight kind of game, and as you're going through it, you can create such iconic bosses out of it. And I believe, unless I'm mistaken, because I haven't played Destiny 2 in a while, there is co-op for a lot of these campaigns. So you've seen the success of Black Myth Wukong. You've seen the success of Lies of P. You've seen the success of Elden Ring. You've seen the success of, a lot of these Souls-like games. Why would you not start to cater towards that audience? Why would you not start to cater towards the audience that actually wants to play action games that have a good storyline? And Destiny 2 has it. Like, what are they thinking?
This could very well
multiplayer games are low-key
dead.
dead.
While I am all for a reset, I want a reset in priorities, not the destruction of the hobby. But that's what it feels like we're watching right now, and it's all due to incompetence. Now, admittedly, this is a weird one for me. It's taken a while to find my words for all of this, because while I am critical of Bungie, Destiny, and Marathon, I'm critical because I fucking love their games, and this just sucks. Some people just simply don't understand the anger, resentment, or the overwhelming feeling of betrayal that's coming from these decisions, and I think it's simply because these people just don't understand the impact of Bungie and what they've done to this industry and why they mean so much to players.
Crazy,
I mean, Halo
bro.
quite literally defined an entire part of my life. My old jacket that I used to wear to metal shows is covered with Halo pins and patches and the words, "I am the other red dot" written on the back.
I'm not even going to let him say anything else. I'm not even going to let him say anything else, bro. Come on, dog. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? You guys have to understand, right? The consoles that I had gotten as a kid, the first console that I had was the GameCube, right? I played that in one of the first few live streams that we've done, right? The second console that I got was the PlayStation 2. And that was like that happy medium age where like I'm just getting into gaming, I'm just starting to get kind of good at games. Like I can beat my dad at times, or like people that are older than me I can beat at certain times, but I'm not really there, right? Once I got my hands, and this was a pass down from uncle, a Xbox 360. The first game I ran through was all the Halos. Those are the first games I went through. Because that was the first game I used to play with my uncle on the 360. And it got to a point where every time I would get on the game, it was Halo, and then fortunately enough, Call of Duty was starting to throw stuff out as well. But Halo was the core of my first-person shooter and really the core of my gaming takeoff, to where I really focused on actually playing games and really wanting to get good at them at a high level, right? And when I see what they've done with Halo, especially when it came to Infinite, that was the time where I realized Bungie has lost their minds. 343, they just completely lost their minds, because at the end of the day, how do you have Halo without split screen co-op in Infinite? Like, at what point did you think that taking away split screen co-op in Halo was a good idea? For me, honestly, I would probably buy every Halo as long as it has split screen co-op in it. And for the way that Infinite completely removed it, especially for a modern game, a modern Halo, you lost me. You lost me. I didn't even want to buy it. I was like, oh, Infinite's out? Oh, let me see how it is. Wait, it's a solo campaign? Oh, I'm not buying that. Like, what are we talking about? They just completely lost the plot.
Back of it because I was such a dweeb. I guess I still am today. But man, I loved it. I lived it. All those nights of playing split screen with my friends, sitting in Xbox Live lobby, staying up all night, going to midnight launches. Most of my favorite memories come from that time of playing Halo and how much it defined that era of my life. It's how I made a lot of the friends I have today. It's how most of us made friends back in the day.
Big facts.
These games took over the world for nearly a decade. The same first-person controls you use on a controller today are still the designs that these guys standardized. These guys were pioneers. They were legends. And then Destiny happened. Destiny, man, the minute that this game was announced, you would have thought we all died and gone to heaven. It was the dream game. It was the amalgamation of ideas that almost never happened. You had the people who came up on Halo while World of Warcraft was enjoying its peak at the time. And suddenly, here we are now getting an MMO that's going to play like Halo. Like, what is actually happening? It was supposed to have everything: dungeons, PvP, a campaign, raids, gear progression, classes, all the trappings you could possibly ask for, and somehow these guys actually delivered. Now, I'm not going to try to rewrite history here. Destiny did not launch in a perfect state in 2014. Man, that game had terrible performance. I remember also spending quite a few hours parked in front of a loot cave as well. The narrative was disjointed and sloppy, and the game was just kind of completely unbalanced at the time. But once Vault of Glass dropped, man, all of the pieces started to come together. The blend of on-rails campaign experience with this off-the-rails zero-context raid environment was just perfect. It was a work of art. It felt like the kind of game that you always wanted but could never imagine. It balanced its narrative, the casual play, the loot grinding, the skill, the curiosity, in ways that honestly very few ever games have, and it left you just completely unaware of where these guys were going to go next. These games were just so fun to play. It controlled like a dream. Bungie's gunplay is just absolutely unbeatable, even still today, even with Marathon. My friends and I would just stay up every single night, skipping school, skipping work, crafting builds, hunting for gear, building out a clan. We just could not stop playing this game. There was just nothing like it. And honestly, all these years later, there still isn't. After the news broke about Bungie ending support for Destiny 2, I broke my own code and I downloaded the game and logged back in. I haven't played this game since The Witch Queen, and while the current version of Destiny is the worst it has ever been, this game has magic that you just cannot find anywhere else. For context, I'm playing through Lightfall right now, and the narrative is god-awful in this. I'm not a fan of the characters. The stakes feel completely off from what's happening in the larger story, especially coming off of Witch Queen, but, you know, I only hopped in just to get footage for this video, and I wound up playing the game for like 6 hours straight in one sitting because the game itself is just so satisfying. The movement, the abilities, the environment, the gunplay, the loot, it just draws you in and it just does not let you go, which immediately begs the question, why is this game getting abandoned? Now, speaking from a purely business perspective, there is no market replacement for Destiny. And before my Warframe players chime in, these games are entirely different experiences, unparalleled in their own ways. You cannot find an experience like Destiny. It has no direct competition, and it has a proven fan base. Does anybody understand how critically important that is in the games industry today, especially in live service? That is the ace up the sleeve. That is the intangible. It's the almost impossible to build asset that every single new live service game is trying to achieve. And the only reason that I can think that both Sony and Bungie think that it's worth walking away from is because they don't know what they have and they don't know why players aren't playing. Marathon is the kind of game that is every single publisher's nightmare scenario right now. Destiny is the kind of game that every single publisher dreams of having, yet somehow the people that are holding on to it seem completely incapable of understanding its value. That is the warning. We have an...
Well, I just think that they've completely lost what it means to make a good game, right? And when you look at Marathon and what, let me just... When you just think about, let me go away from Marathon at first. When you think about Destiny, right, and how the game, as I've said, the game itself is actually meant to have so much more capabilities than any other game in terms of like the Bungie franchise, in terms of potential, because it has all of the things that are working right now in the modern market, and Destiny and Bungie just do not know how to capitalize on that market because they want to hit this agenda or try and fund this live service game that doesn't necessarily work. Like everybody's trying to be Fortnite, Apex. I mean, Apex is kind of dead at this point, but a lot of these, especially during that time, those peak games where you can get a lot of money based on the cosmetics and the extra things around all the microtransactions around the game rather than the game itself, instead of focusing on making a good game and then people pouring more money into the game naturally because the game is good, right? So
Industry that can look at a one of one game with a proven audience and still not understand what it is. And I think that's the real sickness that we're seeing in this industry right now, because we have players that are looking at Destiny and they're seeing a world that they've spent 10 years in, a monolith, a singular experience. They're seeing the raids, the builds, the memories, clans, weapons, expansions, friendships, all of it. And they see a game that no other game can replace. But the industry thinks that they can. I think the industry is looking at a game like Destiny and they're seeing baggage. They're seeing this expensive game with an aging audience, a frustrated community, a complicated content structure, and a brand that needs repair. And next to that, they look at Marathon and it looks a lot cleaner, newer, easier to pitch, easier to monetize, easier to sell as their future. But I think that's the problem here. The hardest thing to build in live service is not a roadmap. It's not a store or a seasonal model, or it's definitely not a monetization structure, that's for sure. It's just a reason for people to care. Destiny already had that. And if this industry can look at one of the only games that ever truly earned that kind of investment and still convince itself that it's a safer bet chasing the next trend, well, then the problem isn't Destiny. The problem is the people that are making these decisions no longer understand where value actually comes from. I've seen a lot of the debates online between Marathon fans and Destiny fans and Marathon fans. I don't want your game to die. I'm sick of players losing games. But you guys are getting mighty lippy over a game that couldn't even beat the peak concurrent player count of High Guard. I'd be counting my lucky stars that both Sony and Bungie seem to lack the brain cells put together to be able to actually make the right decision in this case. It says a lot about your game when you guys think the death of one game means relevance for yours. It's never worked. Look at MMOs. It hasn't worked out well for anybody else. Marathon is not the play here. Not under any circumstances. I don't know where these guys are getting this idea from. I've seen some people try to say, oh, well, Destiny didn't launch perfect. The one thing that people want to ignore in this entire conversation is that Destiny is a game that people prayed for, people hoped for, people look forward to, and then they showed up for. Marathon, on the other hand, is a game that nobody asked for, nobody wanted, and nobody bought. That's something that we have actual proof of when we look at the game's player counts.
And you have to think about the time frame too. Like Halo was at its peak going into Destiny. Like people were playing multiplayer live service games at a high, very, very high clip. Right? And then you go straight into Destiny now, which adds more of that story campaign and just, that MMO style gameplay. That's a whole different shift. Right? Like that's a completely different shift, but it works because people were already playing Halo at a high clip. Prior to Marathon, people were semi playing Destiny, and Halo has basically fallen off a cliff. So now you're talking about a new game rather than focus on something that you already had. You're going to try and build a new game that nobody really wanted. As he said, nobody really wanted. It doesn't make any sense at all. Because I know when I touched Halo, I got excited. But when I've seen Marathon and gameplays on Marathon, I'm like, why wouldn't I just play any other game, honestly?
When we look at the game sales, it's all there right in front of you. If I was going to gamble my studio's future, I'd probably put my money on the game that I know people actually want.
Yeah.
What does it say about the games industry when these guys can't even recognize what a good game is anymore? What does it say when they don't even understand what a good investment is anymore? We've been suffering through so many live service failures to the point that, honestly, I think that I might be making more money off of these games than these guys are with their own sales. And that's definitely not how this industry is supposed to work. What are these guys chasing if they can't see what's right in front of them? What does that mean for the future? I think that we are definitionally in a state of entropy. It's chaos, it's confusion, it's wasted energy, or in this case, it's a lot of wasted money. It's a mature system that's losing coherence. It's something that is just, falling apart right before our very eyes.
You know what I also think too? Is that these companies ripped out the soul of what games used to be, right? A lot of these companies that are making these games nowadays just to pump out new games, not really focusing on what brought soul and happiness to those games, they have completely stripped it and made it into a product. Just a product, not a game anymore. It's just a product that they want to sell to you in order for you to just say, hey, it's a game, right? I'll just take it. Because they think you don't have standards. They think you don't have, that ability to say no to a video game. Because everybody wants to collect, these games. You never know the value of them, right? But when you remove the soul of a game, you remove the players. You remove their drive to want to play the game. And when there is no soul, there's nothing to build off of, right? At least with Destiny 2, it can build off of what was Destiny 1, right? But also the remnants of the soul of what Halo used to be. Halo 3, Reach, right? So when you remove that and you just try and make a product, right? A different live service game that has no real soul, no base, no story that actually is grounded in anything that was fundamental to what your company has been for the past decade. You completely lose your market, your player count, and all the people that said, you know what, I'm actually going to go play Destiny today. Because you took those players out, you took their opinions out, you took their passion out, right? And a lot of what the gaming industry used to be, it used to be crazy gamers that didn't care what anybody thought. They were still going to rep their game, no matter what. Because that game did something to them that said, you know what? I got to rock with you, man. People aren't just going to come out disrespecting video games out here. And those kids usually got made fun of. Those kids were always considered the lames and they didn't know what they were talking about, yada, yada. But most of us love the same games, no matter where you came from. And video games has always been a fundamental part of what it means to, honestly, I think for most men, be a man, honestly. Like, playing video games was a key component to how it shaped your mind, how you attack problems, how you go about life. And when you see games like Destiny get their soul completely just stomped out for a game that's just a product, something that they're trying to manufacture, at this point, people are just getting tired of just fake stuff. Right? AI is a great thing. It definitely helps their productivity. But there comes a point where the fake stuff got to stop. Right? People are not going to accept quality to a certain degree or at a certain point. At least you hope. You hope people don't get brainwashed to a point where they just accept anything. But taking out the soul and seeing where the games industry, and I think I've used the games industry as kind of like the market leader for the rest of society, because games tend to advance at a higher clip just because they're built on the software that's needed to advance a lot of the technologies. So when you look at the culture, gaming tends to have, at least to my experience, has had the biggest shift prior to the socials and the cultural shifts, right? And gamers have been screaming this at the top of their lungs because they see it in live streams, they see it in the games that they play. Like, yo, everything is being psyoped. I can't have shit no more, dog. They're completely taking the soul out of everything. And it's becoming very disappointing.
It's because these guys are losing their identity. They're throwing anything that they possibly can at the wall. And all they're doing is just creating more chaos instead of any sense of stability. And it's not just Destiny. It's nearly all live service games. Okay, so has anybody else noticed that nearly every live service game, outside of what many view probably as like core experiences, are either losing players or actively failing? And I'm not just talking about your Concords or your High Guards. I'm talking about some of the most successful recent releases and even games that we thought were probably invincible. Marvel Rivals is down 90% from its peak. Arc Raiders is down 90% from its peak. Helldivers 2 is down 94%. Call of Duty just had its worst year in 2 decades, and Epic is executing layoffs and increasing their prices while Fortnite is losing massive player numbers. The easy answer, I think, to a lot of this has just kind of been, this is just a crowded market. There's too many live service games, too much competition, and just not enough player time. But I don't really think that explains all of this, because when I look at something like Destiny, and honestly, when you look at a lot of these games, the problem is not that these players are just moving on. The problem is that the people that are running these games are actively getting in the way of their own success. They don't understand why players showed up. They don't understand why players cared, and they actively keep making decisions that are pushing those players away. For Destiny, as an example, the only reason that people aren't playing that game right now is because Bungie hasn't given them a reason to play. Instead, they have spent years extracting from it rather than adding to it. I covered this in my last video, so I'm going to kind of summarize here, but Bungie studio lead Justin Truman made it one of the company's design pillars to never over-deliver, because otherwise the players might expect more from you. God forbid the players actually want more. He also even established the model that—
What kind of mindset is that, though? Never over-deliver? So you never become innovative. You never become like a driving force in the market. You just give the players the baseline of what you think would work. And you don't think players are going to know? Like, how do you come out and say that? And expect people to be like, oh yeah, let me play this game. What are you talking about? This shit is, it's sickening, bro. Sickening.
a lot of these games operate on, where reputation is spent like currency. First trust, then retention, then revenue. But these guys, they never treated it like a cycle. They just kept spending their trust. That's why Destiny feels so bad right now. The menus are terrible. The game is confusing. The monetization is absolutely absurd. The content totals near like $600 if you want everything. And even then, it's next to impossible for you to know what you actually need to buy. You are constantly being pushed towards paid content, and all the while—
That's the problem. You got businessmen making video games rather than gamers making money off of video games. That's the problem. You have guys that know how to build a business and push a product and do all these things, but you don't have guys that love video games and want to create something great that can make money off of doing that. Because the standards have started to become so low, or at least people have, a small subset of people have begun to accept these terrible standards. And now these companies are trying to cater so hard to these people to take advantage of them and milk them as much as they can and forget about the rest of the industry. It makes no sense. They can make double the amount of money if they just focused on the games and the gamers rather than trying to squeeze out every single dime of those that just accept shit, honestly.
Bungie is under-delivering, ignoring feedback, drip-feeding updates, and holding back improvements to the game. All things that are done based on their core development principles, all done intentionally. They thought that this is the best way to keep you on the hook, but they never realized that this is the main thing that's pushing people away. People are not skipping Destiny right now because it's not popular. They're skipping it because it's just not very good right now. By consistently under-delivering, Bungie has pushed this game further and further away from what people loved, and they didn't just make the shark nearly impossible for them to jump, they have actively committed to it, foundationally committed to it as a studio to never even attempt it. Now, I'm saying all this is intentional because, well, Bungie just revealed their final update plans, a monument to triumph, and the entire thing is just page after page of changes that players have been wanting for years, and Bungie just ignored it all up until the very end. That's what makes this all so frustrating. Bungie might not even be in this position if some of these improvements had made it into the game before the Edge of Fate, or maybe even directly after it as a part of a restructuring. Hell, what if these things had just existed all along? Now, again, I do not think that this is an attention issue. I think that this is a retention and growth issue that's caused by these studios actively sabotaging their own games for the sake of commercialization, profitability, engagement, and ego. These guys are destroying player trust, making games less enjoyable, and then acting confused when their reputation collapses. And when I look at other live service games that are suffering the exact same fate, immediately or gradually, I am seeing the exact same pattern. Helldivers 2 keeps damaging its own reputation by fighting against the audience's expectation of a fun power fantasy. Marvel Rivals has cratered because of poor hero balance, awful matchmaking, and rank resets every single 2 months that feel designed to be able to maximize their engagement in what many players view as just a casual game. Arc Raiders has to honestly be the most surprising one because these guys found immediate success and they held on to it for months, but they never seemed ready to properly support it once that game actually arrived at that success. The game had an incredible social experience, and it's honestly one of the best multiplayer games in years, but the content was light, it was repetitive, unbalanced, and annoying. The cheating problem went unchecked for months, and systems like Expeditions just kind of made the game feel entirely purposeless. They found the game, they had the audience, but they couldn't respond fast enough or with what players actually wanted, and this is where I
don't know. For me, also, these kind of games, I mean, it's not, maybe not my style, but like, I just see that when you have a game that causes you to like scavenge and find your materials, and certain people, if they land in certain areas, just can be OP as hell in a game, like, it just completely diminishes all of the return in playing. Especially if you start losing on a high clip, like yo, you get on a streak of losing, you're like, yeah, no, I'm never touching this game again. And then you find something else that's actually slightly more enjoyable, and you're like, well, I'm just going to play this, because why would I put myself through that kind of suffering to just like find materials, find stuff, and then obviously deal with all the surrounding things that are going on inside the map, and then somebody just walks up on me with a ridiculous, at least the clips that I've seen, I haven't played it yet, so I can't say much, but I've seen people just get gunned down by a suppressed pistol, and I'm like, sheesh, if I got gunned down like that in a game, I'd be like, yeah, bro, I think I'm good. And listen, there's always OP weapons in, you know, certain games, but come on, there still has to come a point where you got to keep things in check.
want to circle back to that idea of entropy, because that's what it feels like right now. This industry, the games industry, at least at a AAA level, is fully matured. It has reached the point where optimizing for business profitability is the only thing that matters to these guys. Studios are hiring leadership with that purpose in mind. Publishers are acquiring studios with that purpose in mind. And somewhere along the way, they lost sight of who they are making these games for. They stare at numbers for so long that they just stop seeing players. They stop understanding what people actually value in a game, what keeps them playing, and what makes them actually care. And that's how you get this chaos. Studios and publishers that are making decisions with no real basis in experience, player experience, or even reality in a lot of cases. Now, one of the best examples that I can give you guys is how commercialized live service games have become over the years. And this might sound dumb as hell at first, but just stick with me for a second. The Hulu-like menus in video games. This has nothing to do with the player experience. It is not a better way to navigate these games. In most cases, it's a lot more confusing, and it's definitely not more immersive. It's one of the most complained about trends in modern game design, and yet it has infested nearly every live service game under the sun. Why? because executive leadership sees the revenue and retention numbers for subscription platforms, and they assume that it's a psychological trick that'll work on gamers, and they inject that logic into their games because they think it will keep you in that game longer.
It's so annoying.
They are not doing it because the audience wants it. They're not doing it because we're demanding it. It's not making our experience better. They're just doing it in hopes that it's going to keep you engaged, while somehow also remaining completely unaware that it's actively making these games worse. It is not immersive. It's not interesting. It's not efficient. It's just flat out annoying.
And even just going back to the retro game, playing Tekken Tag, all it was arcade, versus, training, settings, and then exit or credits, whatever it is. That's all you needed, like 5 or 6 things to show you where you get to play your game. And that's it. I'm pretty sure we had played that game for at least, and we were supposed to go somewhere right after. We had played that game for at least 2 to 3 hours without even realizing it. Just going through the arcade 2 or 3 times. 3 hours gone. And it was one game mode. Like, that's the kind of stuff that these companies are completely losing. Everything's trying to be a subscription. Like, they're really trying to just strip you away, just give you BS products so you can cough up your funds, and then later on down the line to just take it all away from you anyways. It's sickening. It's absolutely sickening.
And it's this small layer of friction that's becoming a part of a much larger chain of annoyances, all built in a desperate attempt to keep the players inside the game as long as they can, spending money as much as they possibly can by people who do not understand why you play at all. And you can see this entropy everywhere. This is exactly why we see more and more parts of games being piecemealed out and turned into microtransactions. It's why these companies keep throwing money at trends, why Sony is betting billions on mostly copycats of existing live service games, while also closing active development on one of the very few games with no real competitive replacement. Every company under the sun that's out there that's making a extraction shooter or a hero shooter, these guys are spinning out of control. They have absolutely no idea what they're doing, and they're just trying to do everything they can except listening to their audience. That's what entropy looks like in a creative industry. It stops creating from conviction, and instead, well, they're just reacting from panic. It's chasing whatever worked last year, copying whatever their investors understand, or stripping away whatever they can't easily measure. The result is an industry that has a bunch of games that are technically optimized for engagement, but are emotionally empty to play with nobody showing up for them. So what's the solution to all of this? Well, I've been playing a lot of Deadlock recently, and as many of you guys might know, I'm not really much of a live service gamer or a competitive gamer. Sure, I'll jump into a Path of Exile league here or there, or I'll play whatever the newest game is out just to be able to give my thoughts on it, but I mostly stay away from these games just because I just don't really get that much from them anymore. Now, with that said, I've put over 200 hours into Deadlock in just the past couple of months, and one of the things that I noticed is that I don't feel any of the same fatigue or friction or frustration because none of those executive layers have been added into this game yet. It's in closed testing. It's invite only. There's no monetization, no seasonal content, no storefront that's constantly trying to pull your attention away. The game plays great. It looks great. It has its own style. It has its own identity. It's just so unique in that. And the only thing that you can even do in this game is just grind rank, master the game, and play it. That's it. The only thing these developers can even focus on right now, because the game is in testing, is just balancing the game, adding content, and making the game more enjoyable for players. All of their focus is on the players, and that brings more clarity to their design and also to our experience. It feels like a multiplayer game in its purest state, a callback to way before all of this mess even started. Just developers trying to make the best game that they can, and players just simply playing the game. And I think that's where so many of these live service games are getting lost. I think that's where much of this industry is getting lost. Monetization can exist, seasons can exist, the business side of this industry can absolutely exist. These guys have to make money, these studios have to survive, but none of that can ever become louder than the game itself. That's what Deadlock kind of clarified for me. Players are losing interest in walking away because so many of these games feel managed more than they feel designed. Every single decision is being made against them instead of for them. They're sitting around and they're just watching their games get worse constantly. They're watching these companies get richer. They're watching their feedback being ignored. They're not getting anything from it, so they're just walking away. That's what this collapse just keeps coming back to. The business side of this industry cannot replace the game itself. It has to support it. The game has to come first. The players have to come first. Everything else, it only works if, well, those two things are actually worth showing up for. When you've enjoyed the level of success that many of these studios have found and reached the levels of popularity that a lot of these games have gotten to, if your players are leaving, it's not because the current trend is the cool thing and that's what the players want right now. It's because you have actively ruined your experience and you have driven those players away. Keep in mind, Counter-Strike averages like 1.4 million peak concurrent players every single day, and that game is 26 years old. They barely add any content to it. I think a couple of maps a year at most, and then after that, it's a bunch of skins. That game, it has all of those executive layers. It has the monetization, and it proves that if you just maintain a game that people enjoy and don't ruin it, they stay. This is all a matter of priority.
And you want to know why? And this may be a controversial take. Because mostly men play these games. Most men tend to order the same meal when they go to a restaurant. Most men tend to order or be very consistent in how that they go about their life and what they do. They try and be as consistent as possible so they don't break the flow of what's going on. And if you have a game that just works, it plays well. You don't even have to think. You just load it up and you know you're going to have a good time. They're going to stay. They have no reason to leave. Because at the end of the day, every time they boot up that game, they know they're going to have fun. They know they're going to be, even through the losses, even through all the craziness and the terrible times that they end up playing, they're still going to come back because the game is good and they know they're going to enjoy it every time. That's why a lot of the classic games and you see a lot of these Souls-like games, people do, new game plus, 10, 20, 30, however many times because they love the game that much. And they will keep playing it until they can't play it anymore. But that's because the games had soul. The games had something that made you want to play them, and they weren't trying to sell you a product. They were selling you a game. And they were able to make money off of the game. And that's the big difference right now. Right now, companies are just like, yo, let's just keep pushing these products. Let's keep pushing these products. And they're going to take it. They're going to take it. Like, no. And people don't got money to just be spending on this stuff anymore like that. Gas is $5, bro. Like, where am I going to get money to spend on a game? Come on. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to spend money on a game that I can load up a different game for the same purpose. It doesn't make any sense. So you go to a saturated market rather than something that you had already and a base that you've had already, and you just abandon them. But that's when you lose the plot. That's when you forget who's actually playing these games. When you forget who's playing these games and try and cater to a subgroup that do not play video games, it's never going to work. It's literally never going to work. So we can get into the next topic a little bit later. I do want to fight Melania because I'm very annoyed. The last time that we had tried to fight her, I was very close to beating her, and I'm very annoyed that I didn't beat her the last time. But I had to go somewhere that day. So we're going to try and beat her tonight. And yeah, because I beat her before on my Steam Deck, and obviously she doesn't want to get beaten again. So yeah, we're just going to have to lock in. We're just going to have to lock in. What is happening? This John is DED dead. What is happening? What the heck? What is going on here? Hello? How are you? How is it doing this, but it's not? What is going on here? Selling me out. I'll be right back. I gotta see why this game is tweaking. Just give me 1 second. We are back, team. We are back, team. Let's get this money. I want to beat Melania tonight. These first few rounds might be a little shaky, but let's try and get this money, though. I don't fully remember how I did this, but I feel like I want to put and just go in for like sneaky stuff. Okay, that was quick. Oh, shit. Mm. I feel like I'm starting to read her a little bit better, though. I definitely do not think she was catching me as bad when we first started playing the last time. So I think it's good. I really don't think I'm gonna get close enough for this move, if I'm gonna be honest. But I'm definitely moving so much faster though. If it's not bad either. I'm just waiting for a bitch ass to rise up right now. Oh! No, chill. Oh yeah, that splash damage. That's what I wanted. If I can get that close range splash damage. Ugh. All right, that was a good second run. No, chill, chill. Let me make sure I put on my desktop audio. Oh my gosh, bro. All right. This is so annoying. Definitely playing so much better. Oh no. Oh! No, I'm trash. I'm so bad. Unfortunate. That just ruined that run, but it's not bad. Alright, let's see if I can clutch. Let me get one more hit. Alright. Let's see if I can clutch up. here. Let's just use one more. Really try and hopefully clutch it up. Oh. Come on, Gersh, you're better than that. Oh, I didn't know if it was gonna stop. Okay. So the glowing one, it might be able to stop, potentially. The second one is not stopping none of that. Alright. That's tough, that's tough, that's tough. That's tough, that's tough, that's tough, that's tough. Gotta stay locked in. Alright, let's get that early damage. Wow. Yo, why is she dodging everything right now? Don't touch me. Oh. Dang, that damage is sorry. Sheesh. It's really unfortunate. Let me see something now. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't think there's any other. Like, I know this works. It's just like. Start using the pole blade. That'd be fun. I just want to see some. I just want to see some. I just want to see some. I just got destroyed. I'm gonna go back to my daggers. But let's see. All right, come on. We got this. We got this. We got this. Just gotta play our game. Go, turn around! I got built out there. I knew it. Yes! I got bailed. That was so terrible. That was such a terrible ending. What am I doing? Oh my gosh, like why am I so bad? Come on, come on, come on. We can beat this, we can beat this. Come on. I'm playing terribly right now. Come on. Those first 2 runs were so good. And then I collapsed. Like, come on. We are going to beat this shorty. Like, I don't know why it took me so many tries, but patience. Whoa! Oh, come on. Such an idiot. Come on. you serious, bro? Cutting Shorty down is really just criminal right now. Just straight criminal. It's like really unfortunate. Takes so long to. No! No! I got too close. I was dancing a little too much. I was dancing a little too much. Just a little too much. I probably have like the worst gear known to man for this build, and okay, now I'm just playing bad. No, I'm just playing very bad. No, I'm just playing very, very bad right now. Alright. Very annoyed, yo. Like, I can't just keep playing. Like, I have to beat this game. Like, I don't know why, but I have to beat it, and there's no way I'm gonna beat it doing it like this. Like, it's just not gonna happen. No, bro, the camera just drags you into her move. Like, that's the annoying part. Like, I chopped off so much of her health, and then I just get dragged into it. Like, it's so annoying. Like, the first two blood losses are so easy, and then I just get yomped into this special. Like, it's very annoying. Thumped. Come on. Oh my god, these are such terrible dodges now. What am I doing? Get away, get away. How did he hit me? But okay. This is such a bad run. Like, it's not even worth trying to stab her with these knives. Like, I just really wonder how much damage these knives really put in. Can I upgrade it maybe? Let me see if I can have a potential upgrade for these knives. Let's see. Where's the upgrade spot? I gotta remember where I'm at first. Hill grade. Let me see if I can unlock some stuff up here. I don't know. There isn't anything for me to unlock. Let me check over here. Oh yeah, I forgot she died. Radon stuff. I thought I unlocked this. I thought I definitely unlocked this though. Oh, I have. Okay. This is the stuff that I have. Okay. Maybe. Oh, I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Let me put this on. I'm glad I had this. What's the summons? Oh, I could level this up. Somber ancient dragon smithing so. Hold on. Time out. Let me go check if I have that in here, because I'll just go kill some enemies and just what do I got here? I do not have the ancient. So which one? I think I could actually still get one of them. Or is it both ancient dragons? I can get some runes here, but I have one of these. Do I waste it? Dexterity. Guess I don't have one of these. If I had one of these, this would be really clutch right now. Because then I'd be able to get to at least almost 100. The bleed buildup, that bleed buildup would be stupid fast. I wish I could just dismantle some of these. I probably have so much of this world that I haven't discovered yet. And I'm just trying to like speed run through this and it's not gonna work. Good job, Kirsch. Let's see if I can make a comeback on this one. Jesus, time is terrible right now. Especially on that launch. Oh my gosh, my timing is so early. And I'm getting yoinked up. Sheesh. At this point, I'm about to just take this off. Take this top off. Like, it helps me. Just go full beast mode. Yo, what was that? That's such a terrible spot. Oh my god. Like, what is this unfortunate, like, turn of events that's going on here? Such a catastrophic operation going on here. I was just trying something. I was honestly just trying something on that last one. This is very annoying. Can't believe I can't beat this boss. Wow. I gotta stop getting greedy. I really thought I was gonna outrun that, and I definitely did not. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing! This is embarrassing. Dun, 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 dun. It's such a bad move, honestly. Like, I just don't understand how. This is abysmal. Whew. I had clicked it before she went up, bro, so I was stuck in the animation, bro, and it just, oh my gosh. I hate this character's boss so much. Like, this boss is like the most annoying thing ever. And it's really just unfortunate, dog, because like, it's just a terrible boss. Come on. Ooh, it's gonna be scary. Yo, chill. Yes! Finally!
The mark,
Oh,
Lord.
oh
Dear Nicola,
my gosh.
dearest Nicola, my brother. I'm sorry. I finally met my match.
Jeez. Yo. Melania, dog. Oh my gosh. Like the way that she just, oh, she was such a headache. Like for no reason. Honestly, without the waterfall dance, she is a very simple character. Like she becomes so explosive at a moment's notice that it makes defeating her so annoying. Like in my opinion, I don't even know how you um defeat her with like close quarters combat because she just demolishes and just catches you so badly, especially if you don't learn how to do like the tech in order to avoid the waterfall dance. Like, it's really gonna be a tough day for you. Everything else is very avoidable, but that waterfall dance, man, that whole camera movement in order to avoid it, like, it's just not. It just doesn't really make any sense to me. Like, at all. Let me see what's over here. Can I sit in this? I don't even know this was here. Oh, what does this say? Oh, here it is. Oh, I can level up? Ooh, ooh. Hmm. Because I think the mind, endurance, strength. Yeah, strength gives me no benefit right now. I definitely think it's either vigor. I think I do. I think I do 2 arcane, honestly. And then go from there. If anything, I might have to just start getting some coins so that I can, or some runes, coins. Some runes so I can get my vigor up. And just start grinding that. Let's see. How much did the Reduviate bring? Let's see. 93, you see? That's a boost, though. Oh, that's a boost. Sure, I might have to just keep boosting up my arcane. Just Reduvia bladed up. Hey. Whoa. Okay, hold on. I could actually go back. Should I put it? I think I put it on the Reduvia, though. And then, because I think that was a somber ancient stone. I have enough coins too now. And I think I could potentially do both of them. Even though I feel like that's so crazy. But I think I should get my arcane up though. Like, I feel like I should just upgrade both of them. I just don't see what else I would really put it on. I don't know, it's like fun to use, but like I just don't see it being legitimately useful for me in the way that I play. These two I can somewhat see in being... See, I had definitely leveled these up. These were like way higher on the Steam Deck, and it did not save. I think I put on the Reduvia though, because right now it goes from E. It doesn't really change much, but it gives... I'm just gonna do it. Why not? gonna stop me. Alright, let's see. So, we were at... Wait, but isn't this... I feel like this is... Can I go up to the final boss from here? Okay, Empress. So I beat Melania. I don't think I can go to the final boss from here. Unless I'm thinking, isn't it like... I think it's the prayer room? No? No. There has to be a way, no? I didn't discover this whole side of the map. Crazy work. I should probably go do that, right? Get my levels up. But I thought I can get to Head Honcho from here. How do I do that though? Okay, so that's obviously where I just fought her. Let me go back this way. Yo, what is he on? Like, bro, I didn't even like. Yeah, peep how he just started unloading the whole clip on me? Like, dang, bro. I just walked outside. Chill. Nigga just started that shit up again. Chill. Don't kill me. No! This man really shot me down. Doesn't want me to be great, dog. Crazy. I didn't go up the right side. What is this? Oh! Oh! What is that? I didn't even go up the right side. Bye bye. See you later. Let me at least get my runes back, and then I'll figure out how to get to the main boss, because I don't know what I'm doing. Scoop that up. Melania has been defeated. I was going to get into the next topic tonight, but I think we'll save it for night vision when I get back from vacation, so that one should be a fun one. Let me see, please be on the floor. I just don't see how. Is there a ladder on this side? Okay, can't go this way. Okay, good. Go, bro. You're going way too slow right now. I don't even know what's up here at all. Oh. Okay. Yo, too many of these niggas here, bro. No! No! Yo, none of this looks good right now. Chill. What is this? Yo. Okay. This place is filled with just disaster, just waiting to happen. Leave me alone. Yo, why are they following? Oh, that crystal is not crushing. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah, this is gonna be tough, dog. This is gonna be tough. gonna have to go all the way back down there. I'm going to at least get my runes, and then I'm gonna get up out of there. I died. Alright, so with that being said, yeah. I guess in the next time we decide to play this game, I should be playing the final boss. I just gotta figure out where he is. I think I unlocked him already. If not, I'm gonna have to do that again, because I definitely did. But I just can't figure it out. What are these numbers? What do I have these numbers here for? I probably have these markers here for a reason, but yeah. So this was a fun one. You know, as I said, games like this, where it's just simple gameplay, stick to your roots, something that you're good at, and just making sure that the game is fun to play, has its challenges, has its greatnesses, and people will always come back to it. That's what it's going to come down to at the end of the day. And if the other companies, especially the bigger franchises, don't begin to realize it, it's going to affect the rest of gaming, and it's going to cause for catastrophic damage. But I do think that there is still hope, as long as these companies start to realize that it's about the games and not about the profits. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys hop in on the next one. And as always, stay glitched. Out! There we go.